Well, hi everyone. It's time to go work on the turntable. I removed it from the box, and we have to replace this electrical cord, as you know, is from an earlier video. It's really just cracking. And before I do that though, I want to go over it mechanically. It probably hasn't been greased in 60 plus years, so it probably needs to be greased, looked over, make sure everything turns smoothly, that type of thing. One thing I did notice is, before I started videotaping here, is this needle and cartridge. This is an aesthetic. I can't read the numbers right now, but I'll zoom in and you can see the numbers when I zoom in. But I'm surprised, this thing is 60 years old. It has a metal piece sticking out through here, and then a plastic piece with the needle on it. So I assume when you change the needles, you just pull the plastic piece off the metal rod that's coming out of the cartridge and just slip on another one. I'm surprised to see plastic in there. I have another turntable from a big Philco set that I took a video of, you've seen before, and it's all metal. The needle comes out, and it comes out straight down, then over, and then down, and then there's a sapphire needle on it. And when you replace the needle, you just replace the whole needle. There's just a hole there in the cartridge, and you put another one in. But this one, it looks like there's a rod, and then there's plastic, and then at the end there's a needle. Could even be diamond, I don't know. And anyways, you just replace the whole plastic part with the needle on. It's kind of different. So that's what it looks anyway. So let's get into it. I want to show you kind of how to take these turntables apart. Maybe you can see it here. Yeah, see this hook? Okay. What you do is these hooks, there's one in each corner, and they prevent the turntable from just falling out if you have it like on its side, if you shift it or something. You don't want it just falling apart in the cabinet, hitting the top and destroying it. So they put these little keepers in here, and what they do is they drill little holes, and they go through the holes, and then the hole is narrower than this part, so it grabs at the bottom and it won't release. So to release the turntable, all you need to do is these are easy to just push in, and then it'll fit in the hole, and then you take every single corner one off, and it just pulls right off. And I made a little stand here. I just had it in the garage. It was already made. It was for another radio. Just to keep it off the... Okay, if you look under there, you can see that everything is cleared. Okay, so if I get to the point where I am running it, nothing should hit the table. Yeah, just a simple thing to do. And I guess the next step is to pull off the platter, see how it looks underneath, take a look at the electric motor, make sure it turns freely, and go from there. So, okay, let's start by removing the platter. Alright, that's the platter. These grooves here are for making the turntable do certain mechanical functions. This rubber wheel here, this motor turns the rubber wheel, and this rubber wheel looks like it's in pretty good shape. And that's good, because that's the main drive wheel. And that rubs on the inside of this platter. You can see this darker mark here. That's where it's been rubbing against, turning this turntable all these years. Now, one thing I noticed right away, that motor is binding. I can barely turn it. So, also, if you can see here, let me zoom in. I just noticed this. Look at this right here. There's a bunch of pieces. I don't know if they're metallic or not, but I do have a magnet here, and I'm going to see if it attracts these pieces. No, that's probably a good sign. If you can see here, the magnet is clean. So this material is a non-ferrous type material. It could have been like crumbling, some kind of crumbling rubber. But thankfully it doesn't look like it's from here, and besides it wouldn't be over here, not here. So let me zoom in on the wheel here and so you can see it a little easier. There we go. So this wheel turns nice. I'm feeling the rubber. It feels very soft, very smooth, so there doesn't seem to be any chunks missing from it at all. But this motor itself, oh man, it's really stuck. So I think the next step to do is to take the motor out, and let me zoom out so you can see it a little better. There. Take these 3 screws out, cut a couple of wires that go to the motor, pull it out, and take it apart. And it could be that all the grease over 60 plus years is just dried out, and that's what's causing the bind. Hopefully that's the problem, and not something like a coil is burnt out or anything like that. So that will be something I do now before I even dare turn it on, because I don't want to put an unnecessary load on the motor and burn it out. So I'm going to make sure that I'm going to do everything in my power so I can have that motor turn freely before I even think about plugging it in. So I guess that's our first step, because I don't even really care if this thing works automatically. If you, let me zoom out. You can tell this changer, you could put a stack of records on. You close this over here, and then if you notice here, it says manual, reject, and auto. As you can see here, see there's a little rod here that goes up and down. That makes the arm go up and down. And I would imagine this turntable, well, you can even tell. See these grooves here? And look at these here. They ride inside the grooves, all right, causing mechanical actions, probably to like move the arm over so it clears so the record can drop and all that kind of stuff. I don't really care about any of that crap. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it works, that's great. But my relative that I'm giving this to, he just wants to record 1 record at a time. So I'll be more than happy if we can just get it to run stably without too much water, flutter and wow, as they call it. You know, nice and smooth platter action, and then that he'll be good to go, and he can record his father's stack of 78s that he has and put them on mp3s. So the next thing in the video here is what we're going to do is flip it over and take a look underneath and unscrew these screws so we can take the motor right out. Okay, I have this safely on its side. The record stack mechanism is helping hold it up. As you can see over here, the arm is just resting nice and smoothly and comfortably there with no strain on it. So we're good to go. If you look at this motor, you know, even though it's 60 plus years old, it looks fairly modern. I don't know how many guys of you, you know, have worked on your bathroom fan, but this looks like just like a regular normal bathroom fan, a modern one you'd see. So it's very basic, just a coil here and a magnet and just an armature in there, and there's a bearing cup there. So to get this motor out, remember we saw 3 screws here, here, and let's see, here. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3. We gotta just take out from up here. But before that, this has got to go anyways. This is that old cracked. Oh wow! Did you hear that? Sound like a potato chip. Got to get rid of this anyway. So what I'll do here is they just have this. This isn't heat shrink. This is the, just a crimped connector here. So what I'll do is I'll just cut. There's plenty of cord here, okay? So I'm not going to worry about the length too much. You know, this is just taped together, so I got plenty of cord to work with, so I don't care if I cut it back a little bit. And by the way, unlike this cord is nice and pliable and soft still. So I have no qualms about reusing this. This is, you know, feels like almost like new. So that's good news. All right, well, I guess it's time to unscrew those screws and pull the motor out. But before I do that, I just remembered that I need to flip it back up. Put that arm there. Okay. Slide this thing over. That should be pretty good. Let me zoom in on here. Right there, that big rubber wheel. Okay, that's got to come out first. It looks like. I want to take it off anyways because I want to re-grease it. So the reason I'm going to do that is when I take these 3 screws out, these 3 here, it looks like I'll have room to take out the whole mechanism all in one piece. But I think what I'm going to do instead is remove this. And to do that, there's a little spring here. Okay. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little just keeper there. And put that there. And just as I thought, it's a flat washer. Yeah, under that keeper is a washer, but it's not the kind of washer I thought. I thought it would be a, you know, a metal washer, but it's not. It's some kind of rubber washer that's very bendable. So that's a surprise right there.